Hi, I'm Megan, and I'm here to talk to you about corporate social responsibility at Sarasin & Partners. So, let's start by defining what we mean when we talk about CSR. A corporate social responsibility policy is a set of principles that an organisation commits to operating by. For us, it helps to define who we are and what we stand for as an organisation. And our approach to CSR is designed to appeal to all of our stakeholders, from our clients to the companies that we invest in. Now, why is CSR so important? Well, firstly, it helps to improve overall business outcomes by creating a culture which supports diversity and encourages accountability. It's also important to us because our policy outreach means that we spend a lot of time holding the companies that we invest in to high ethical and social standards. And ultimately, we couldn't be credible in doing this if we weren't prepared to practice what we preach. So, what are we actually doing? Well, let's start with the environment. We've made a pledge, in line with the Paris Climate Accord, to be carbon neutral by 2050. Although we aspire to be there much sooner than that. We're also endorsers of the New Plastics Economy Global Commitment. We're acutely aware of our environmental impact, and this is something that we track closely. Over the last 12 months, we've managed to reduce our carbon emissions by 25% by making changes such as switching the electricity supply in our office to 100% renewable sources. Our biggest challenge in terms of emissions by far, however, is travel. We're global investors, which means that we travel to meet the management of the company that we invest in and also to see our clients. And while we're always looking at ways that we can reduce this, it's not something that we're likely to be able to eliminate completely. Therefore, a key part of our climate strategy is our investment in carbon offsetting projects. We have invested in 2 carbon offsetting projects so far. The first one is based in the UK and is with the Woodland Trust. Trees have an important part to play in capturing and storing carbon from the atmosphere. And over the next 12 months, the Woodland Trust will plant enough trees to absorb 225 tonnes of carbon on our behalf. Looking further afield, and with advice from a specialist consultant in this area, we've also helped to fund a waste management treatment plant in Vietnam, which helps to avoid the large-scale emissions from landfill sites. Now, this isn't particularly glamorous, but it is highly effective, as methane is a gas which is much more potent than CO2. Moving from planet to people, at Sarasin, we're taking steps to encourage and support diversity in the workplace. It's important that we are able to attract and retain the best employees, regardless of who they are. We understand that diversity of thought and opinion adds value to our business, and in order to encourage this, we have set up a dedicated diversity task force staffed by the most senior management in our organisation, who are in charge of shaping our policies to improve the diversity profile of our business. We also work with recruitment consultants to ensure that we have candidates from a variety of backgrounds when we're looking to hire new members of staff. Despite these efforts, we're not perfect, but we're not quite this bad. According to a recent article by Bloomberg, there are more UK mutual funds managed by men called David than there are women in total. Now, I'm pleased to say at Sarasin we have at least 2 women for every David, so we're improving and we're not as bad as the industry in general. Moving on to community. Charity is something that's close to many of our hearts, and all our staff vote to elect our Charity of the Year, to whom we aim to donate at least £20,000 per year. The partnership will also donation match any private fundraising initiatives that our staff undertake, be it from a bake sale to jumping out of an aeroplane. And finally, every member of staff is offered 2 days of paid volunteering leave per year. So if you have any suggestions about how we can spend these, we're always keen to hear your ideas. Thank you very much.